Good morning, children. Welcome to online class. In today's topic, we are going to learn the last topic in public enterprise. We are learning lesson 9, government organization. Under that, we saw the three types of public enterprises. One is departmental undertaking, public corporation, and this is the last one, that is the government company. What do you call a government company as? A company which is registered under the Companies Act of 1956 those days, and now it is registered under 2013 Act. Okay, so if a company is registered under 2013 Act, we call it as a government company. We already saw the government organization like departmental undertaking and the public corporation, how they have started to compete with the private sectors as well as to help the public. Okay, here also we can see a government company is a company that is established under the Companies Act of 2013, and we can say there is a definition for a government company. A government company is defined under section 245 of the Companies Act 2013 as any company in which not less than 51% of the share capital is held by the central government, or we can say by the state government, or partly by the central government or the state government. So if a company is holding shares more than 51% of the share capital, and it is called as a government company. It can be either central government or we can call it as a state government. We can see it is governed by an act. What act? It is the Companies Act. First I told you it was 1956 Act, but now we can say it is 2013 Act. Any company, we can say it is established, okay, by the act, we call immediately as a government company. Now it can be either a public limited or we can call it as a private limited. It can be either, it can be formed as either public limited or we can it can be formed as a private limited company, private public limited company, and so on. Now, I told you 51% of shares are owned by the government, or it's held by the government. If at all the other shares, that the remaining of 49% of shares, if somebody is going to buy those shares, they are going to buy on the name of the government. If it is going to be on the central government, they buy shares on the name of the president, okay, because he is the head of the country. If it is going to be the state government, they buy the name on the shares of the governor. This you should know. Okay. So for central government, the shares are bought on the name of the president, and for the state government, it is going to be bought on the name of the governor. So it is a monopoly. What do you mean by monopoly? That's a single seller. Yeah, we can say as it is 51% of the share capital is held by the government, it is a monopoly. We can say, for example, railways. Railways is a monopoly, a single seller. So nobody is in charge for railways except the government. Okay, so we call it as a monopoly. So any company in which we can say 51% of the share capital is held by the government, it is called as a government company. We will see some of the examples for government company. Indian Oil, ONGC, okay, GAIL, SAIL, Bell, etc. are examples of government company. We have also just given you some government banks like SBI, Union Bank, Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank. All these are examples for a government company. Next, we will see the characteristic features of a government company. The first one is registration under the Companies Act. Any company which is holding 51% of the share capital should be registered under the Companies Act. The Companies Act of 2013 provides the provisions of the company that it should be applied with a certain modification. It can start a company. Next you can say executive decisions of the government. A company is created by the executive decision of the government without seeking the approval of the parliament as well as the state legislature. It can start a company. Separate legal entity. A company can start its business as a separate legal entity because it is separate from the government. It can acquire property, it can make contracts, it can be sued, and it can sue a case against others. So a company and the government are different. Whole or majority capital is provided by the government. We can say 51% of the share capital is provided by the government. but the revenues are not deposited in the government treasury. Rather, it is used by the company. Majority of government directors, as it is the 51% I told you, the majority of the share capital is held by the government. The government has the authority to appoint the board of directors. Okay, so majority of the directors are appointed by the government. That is one of the feature. Next is own staff. A government company has its own staff except government officials. Sometimes they are under deputation period. What do you mean deputation? That is, we can say a short term contract. Some people are appointed on a short term contract to complete the task. So they come in and do a job or accomplish the particular work that is given to them and they move off. Okay, so they are under the governed by the civil servant rules. The next is free from the procedural controls. A government company is free from budgetary, auditing and accounting procedures that is applicable to the government companies. Accountability to the parliament. We can see the annual report of the government company is placed before the parliament or the state legislature. So these are the features of a government company. So what are the features? We can see regulations under the Companies Act. We can say executive decision is done by the government, separate legal entity, majority of the directors are appointed by the government, it is its own staff, and you can say they are free from the procedural controls, as well as they are accountable to the parliament and the state legislature. Next, we will see the advantages of a government company. The first advantage is easy formation. A government company can be easily formed by giving, that is under the Companies Act, just by an executive decisions that is given by the government. The next one is internal autonomy. A government company can manage its own affairs. It is relatively free from the ministerial control. There is no interference of the politics. Okay, there is no interference of the politicians in the day-to-day life of the company. Private participation. Though government company device, the government can avail the management skills, technical know-how that and expertise knowledge from the other countries. For example, I will say you, the Hindustan Steel Limited has obtained the technical and financial assistance from USSR, and same way from Germany, from UK, they can get financial assistance for the other sectors also. We can see steel plants at Bhilai, Raulaka and Durgapur, they have got assistance from the other foreign countries. So technical knowledge, okay, managerial skills are taken from the other countries. So that's one of the biggest advantage. Easy to alter. If at all they want to change any of the objectives of the company, they can just make a simple change by altering the memorandum of association without seeking the approval of the parliament. Discipline. The government company is subject to provisions of the Companies Act. So we can say they have to maintain a strict discipline. They have to be active, they have to be alert, and they have to be disciplined. So that is one of the biggest advantage here also. Professional management. A government company can appoint professional or the qualified managers because they have to frame their policies. So professionals are employed in a government company. Public accountability. The annual report of the government is presented in the parliament or the state legislature. These reports can be discussed and debated whenever it is required. So these are the advantages of a government company. Next, we will see the disadvantages of a government company. The first one is board of directors packed with S-men. As I told you, majority of the directors, there is a board of directors are appointed by the government. They are just like, they are acting like an S-man. So whatever the policies and programs are framed, immediately they don't argue with that. Rather, they just go on with saying like S-man. Okay. The next disadvantage is autonomy only in name. We can say, I told you like the interference of the politicians are not there in a government company. It's just for namesake. But we can say in reality, politicians, ministers, government officials, they interfere in the day-to-day working of the government company. A fraud on the Companies Act and Constitution. A government company is criticized as being a fraud on the Companies Act and on the Constitution. The criticism is valid on the ground that the government can accept the government company from application of several provisions. That is, they're trying to take different provisions and act accordingly. They change all the rules and regulations in between, okay, and that is done with confidence inside, okay. Fear of exposure. Sometimes the board of directors and the other people, those who are working in the company, will not try to come out with innovations because of the fear that they will be criticized. So criticism of fear makes the people that are working not to expose themselves, not to bring in certain innovations, because whatever is done inside the company is placed before the parliament or the state legislature. So if something goes wrong, they will be criticized, so that the people don't come out with the innovations. Lack of expertise in deputations. We can see as people are being transferred, as a member, the company employees are being transferred from one place to another on the deputation period. We can say they lack expertise and they are lacking commitment. They don't work with commitment because they have a fear that they will be changed from one place to another place for a deputation period of their work. Selfish functioning. The government company works neither for the government nor for the public, but it serves as a personal interest of the people who work in the company and on the dictated policies of the company. We can say dictators are there inside the company who will make the people to work on their behalf for their personal interest, for the personal profits, okay. So we can say dictating policy is one of the disadvantage of a government company. Children, we will do a small recap of what we have learned today. In today's topic, we learnt the last topic under public enterprises. We saw public enterprises are classified into three: the departmental undertaking, public corporation, and the government company. In today's topic, we learnt about the government company. Okay, then we saw the meaning, the definition of a government company, the features, the advantages, and the disadvantages of a government company. Children, write your test. Take up your Kahoots and quizzes. Okay. Enjoy learning. Be happy. Be safe. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.